Hello, YouTube. We meet again under unfortunate circumstances. So, as we have this photo going around with Anthony, with the rifle, the gang signs, and the bird, the flip excuse me. We also have a photo of Austin Metcalf with his twin brother, who also have rifles. Hello. Because they're just showing like this photo of uh, Anthony with rifles. But we also have, that's the problem. These two young men, the twins, the Metcalf brothers, with rifles dressed in their camo gear. I don't think they're in the army, but they're dressed in their camo gear. So they also have guns too. And that's not so nice either. These photos with guns, what the hell? We're human beings. We want to pretend we're God, but once that bullet makes way, we can't play like, what's that in the Matrix? I forgot that Neo. You were God, you could put your hand up and stop 10 million bullets from coming your way, but no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Unless you're defending yourself. But there's a picture here. And I also say, this picture with these young men, two kids with these guns, that don't look nice. So he has a picture with guns and he's flipping the bird and he's doing, I guess that may be a gang sign. I don't know. I said that earlier, but I don't know what kind of sign it is. I'm not in his head and I don't know what he's doing. And hey girl, the cat is being bad. No. And then we have these two young men standing side by side with guns. Okay? So, both these boys, all three of them, I don't know, they're hotheads or whatever going on. But if I had a son or a daughter, yeah, first my weapons would be locked up. And I darn sure wouldn't want none of them to be taking pictures. With weapons like that. I want a peaceful world. Okay? So, yeah. I think both those pictures are crazy. This one story that's going around about Karmelo Anthony and Metcalf, Austin Metcalf, is that his name? I don't even know. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So that's the deceased, Austin Metcalf. Okay, so these are two teenagers that were at a track meet, and it was heavily raining that day. So it was a lot of rain coming down. It's still investigating, so nothing is set in stone. Everybody is still looking at everything in this big picture of what happened. But what they know, what happened, this is a big story. So I always, when the stories come up like this, I'll probably do more. It's just a lot of stuff. I always bring this to a point to come on here. So what happened was this Karmelo Anthony was sitting under the tent because it was raining really hard, I guess. I don't know. And this Austin Metcalf has his twin brother with his team, told Karmelo, oh, excuse me, I just woke up. Told Karmelo, hey, dude, you're sitting in the wrong tent. You're sitting in the wrong tent. So Karmelo looked at him. Austin got up. Austin is a star football player, as well as Karmelo is a star football player. And Austin got up and went to Karmelo and said, hey, move, you're sitting in the wrong tent. And Karmelo looked at Austin and said, put your hands on me and see what happens. Okay. So Austin did. Austin shoved him, pushed him. And Karmelo, unfortunately, and it is unfortunate, people lose the insight. When there was a fight in my day, there was a fight with hands and nothing else. There was no weapons. Everyone fought with hands, feet, whatever, but thankfully there was no weapons, okay? So, this guy, Karmelo, stabbed Austin in the heart. He stabbed him in the heart and he killed him. Austin wound up dying in his twin brother's arms. Okay, so there's a lot to this story that is coming to light and that we don't know because, like I said, it's still being under investigation. But I just wanted to bring up some points where, wow, I saw a picture of Karmelo and I thought it was Photoshop. And Karmelo has this rifle in his hand. Okay, this was a picture prior to this, of course. He has a rifle in his hand and he's flipping off. He has the bird. And I was like, is that Photoshop? And he's doing these gang signs, right? And Austin, although we don't see any pictures of whatever's going on there, I don't know. If you tell someone they're in the wrong seat, my only thing to that is if they don't want to pay attention to you and they don't want to move, just forget it, man. Sit your ass back down. I'm not saying anything about the deceased. I feel really bad because it's such a young kid and he's gone. That's sad. Same way with Carmelo Anthony. He used some bad decisions. You know, a schoolyard fight to kill someone. Come on, that's crazy. And his life is gone too. Because that's just bad. You know, he's facing possibly 5 to 9 years in prison. But I'm going to bring the truth in this. If someone doesn't want to move, just say, forget it. I'm just going to say, quit trying to show off. Okay? And I don't know what his parents taught him or anything, but don't go forward and say, since you don't want to move, I'm going to place my hands on you, nigger, and you're going to move. I mean, what were you taught at home? I don't know what he was taught at home. But don't go forward, because a lot of people think my people are inferior, and they're taught different things at home. Karmelo wasn't having it, okay? Like most black people. We're not inferior. God made all of us. God made all of us. He made white, he made black, he made brown, he made Mexican. So just because you say something, we don't have to jump and do what you say, because we're not inferior and we're not owned to you and you're not God. All right? So he wasn't having it, but the knife, that's overkill. That's crazy. Okay, if you guys are going to fight it out, and that's it, without any weapons. And when I saw the photo, at first I was thought, oh, this young kid is defending himself. Again, I'll say it forever. The knife was overkill, and I am a woman of color, was mixed with black, brown skin. I will say it. I'm not going to agree to stabbing someone and killing them. Okay? Especially in my time, people use their fists in their hands. And they didn't go resort to weapons. This is how to fight it. And when I heard about Karmelo having this picture on Instagram that is not Photoshop with his gun and this flip-off bird sign, these gang signs, and this smug look on his face, you know, he immediately told the cops it was self-defense. It was self-defense. Well, the best kind of self-defense is you don't have to walk away. You can sit there. And if you really feel like something's a problem, you could call the cops. And of course, when you're black, I don't know how that would work out. But if anything, I guess you boys could just fight. Fight would have been different fists, you know. But he probably feels he was in a situation where there was a bunch of people who didn't look like him. I'm just going to be blunt here and tell you. There's a bunch of people who's sitting in this tent that doesn't look like him. He sat down there because it was raining. I don't know if he knew if it was the wrong tent or not. I don't know. But it certainly wasn't worth, hey, it's the wrong tent. I'm going to go shove this black kid and put him in his place. It wasn't worth that. You know, he should just, whatever, it's the wrong tent. Guy who wants to sit here, whatever. I'm not going to incite whatever he's doing because a wise decision wouldn't know already. He's probably doing this intentionally, okay? And he's unzipping his bag, and I'm just going to stand here and watch him. He's probably doing this intentionally. And, you know, or I don't know, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he just sat there because it was raining. And him sitting there and saying, should he have moved? More than likely, when someone stands up and they feel that they can control you, I'm just telling you right now, and you try to assault them, more than likely, they're not going to move. They're going to come back at you in some sort of way. So he knew that was coming. But the other guy probably didn't know as drastic as what was going to happen, what was going to come. So I still don't agree with the murder. It's quite unfortunate. It's overkill. You're going to fight. Boys, fight it out. But you got to look at everything and what's going on in the country and everything. And I don't want to sow words of seed of discourse because I wish that everyone would get along. I'm on that same thing that just, hey, we're all created. God created us all. No one's inferior to anyone. I wish that home life, it all begins in home life, what you're taught and what you see as a child. And when you go out to the world and when you go around, to the world and what you see. And it's unfortunate because all of the news is painting Carmelo Anthony as being just a thug, horrible, terrible. And it's painting Austin Metcalf as being innocent star football player. Both are star football players. Both, I believe, somewhere had some type of issues. Okay? Certainly if I was sitting there and someone sat in my wrong tent, I'm just saying, to keep the peace, I wouldn't even probably say you're sitting in the wrong tent because I just wouldn't give a crap. And I certainly wouldn't get up, even if I was a dude. I certainly wouldn't get up and say, because you're sitting in the wrong tent, I'm going to shove you. And I'm going to bring my whole crew behind me who's going to be with me. It's just all of us against you. So probably the guy did feel threatened in that way. I can't say why he had the photo flipping the bird. That doesn't look very, why Karmelo had that photo. That doesn't look very promising and nice, But we can't judge him on that one photo alone. But you can get a perspective of a mindset of a person that would have a photo like that. We have protection and things and guns that we need to protect ourselves, but we don't have to show them in photos, I guess, and flip the bird and make gang signs. I mean, that looks kind of scary. So I hope your thoughts are pure. And when looking at the situation from both sides of the fence, and you will know immediately whatever culture you stem from, what your people do, and how your people react, and what is reacted on your people, and why this could have went down the way it did, which is awfully unfortunate for both families. And you could have known if you came from a family and you know how to mind your business in all aspects of the word, and just some people aren't as fluid and as loving and as accepting as your family, you would just know to keep the peace. And what is to keep the peace? To mind by the Lord's words and to do the less, to do the least, to keep the peace. Okay, so your thoughts and comments here. Most of your thoughts in your brain. Shed light on your own thoughts. Do observations. Brainstorm with your own self and say, this one way isn't right. That one way isn't right. The truth. Okay? The truth. The obvious truth. All right, y'all. Until next time, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.